What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Let's jump right in. What we've got here for the next 6 months is the time frame that we've agreed to. Is we're going to do a full restoration on a 1973 CJ5. So this CJ5 is pretty special to the customer. It was his dad's. His dad just recently passed away. So we are going to take this roller that he's had. He originally started it and it just took too much time. So we're gonna speed that time frame up. We're gonna get it done 6 months, hopefully, is the relative timeline. We'd like to get it done sooner than that, but definitely before spring. So, or right around spring. So what we're gonna do is basically the build is a stock frame. We are gonna go a CJ to YJ conversion on the springs. So all that stuff will get taken apart today. And we do have a 350 small block being built. We'll be matched up to an SM465 with a Dana 300. It will be on an EFI tech, EFI setup, and all new painless wiring kit. Every single thing that we could think of, the customer has at his house, and he's slowly going to be bringing me parts and as we get the project done. So today's a big day because we get to take this roller that he's had laying around for the last 4 or 5 years working on it. He's got it in a good spot. It's a rear Dana 44, front Dana 30. It is on 35s. All new parts, everything, but it's all going to be even better. So what we're going to do is this Rocky Road Outfitters CJ to YJ conversion, and we'll take off all the suspension, we'll cut off the mounts, we'll bolt on their mounts in the beginning, get everything fitted up where we want it, and then we'll finish weld them in once it's all done. And then as we go along with the project, we're going to do frame gussets. We're going to do, all kinds of great stuff for this thing. He's really wanting to take it to factory, back to factory, but also his take on it also. So today's going to be tearing apart the suspension and getting it all fitted. So let's go. Now that we got all the rear suspension off here, we had to remove the springs, get it all ready. Looks like we're gonna have to do some cutting. So basically right here on this spring perch, we're gonna have to measure a hole. I think the measurement is for like inch and 5/8 up, drill a 1/2 inch or drill a 1/4 inch hole in the beginning. And then you take another measurement and you cut this bracket on each side off. And then what happens after that is you have this bracket that will slide up over this, basically like right there, and it will locate everything. So got to do that on both sides. The rear, I think it just uses the standard hanger, and it'll do a different shackle kit. So obviously the front will be a little bit different, and we will get those. They look pretty good on the front. It's a pretty cool design how it's set up. The fronts are pretty much the same design, but then you have these deals that actually bolt up to the frame. They look great. Bushings installed and everything. Curious if hopefully we'll send these off to powder coat. Be the best way to do it. So yeah, we'll get going on the cutting and we'll go from there. Got it all measured out. I don't know if you can see that very well. Put some scribe lines on there. Got it all measured out, ready to cut and start to drill the holes and get it mounted up. Here we go. No turning back. All right, we got them all mounted up. Took a little bit of time. I didn't record that process just because it's kind of tedious to just sit there and watch me grind, and you know, nobody wants to see that. So got them all cut off. The old shackle hangers or old spring hangers have to be cut and drilled for a couple half-inch holes, no big deal. And basically you line everything up. What I did is I took measurements from this point here to this piece of the frame on each side and made sure that they were square and in the right location on each one. Turns out I got them both right. They're dead on at the same measurement. So I took the measurement from here to here and then there again to the front and then matched them up on each side. Everything's good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the new YJ springs over here on the floor. We're gonna put new bushings in it and we are going to mount them up to the new hangers here. And what we'll do is roll the rear axle under here, and then we have a spring perch kit that we've got, and we'll mount that new kit up, make sure everything's right, along with the new shackle kit we have, and we'll make sure that's fitted up correctly. We'll go from there. Once that's all set the way I want it, we will move to the front where this whole suspension will come off also. Again, we'll cut the brackets here. We will cut these brackets here, and we will put on all of this hardware here. So basically, again, it is new hangers, front and rear, U-bolts, everything. So let's get to it. All right, we got all this on for right now. Took quite a bit of finesse. So getting these springs in was a little bit of a hassle. I don't know if you can see that very well underneath there. Basically what is going on is that bracket's so tight in there, and these springs are military wrapped. So they have that section of the wrapped spring around the main section. Well, we had to cut all that off so it actually fit inside this bracket here. So got all that fitted up, this piece in. So now here in a minute I'll start doing the rest of it, getting all the the shackles in, spring mounting for the tubes, and should be hopefully a lot easier than what what I was dealing with earlier. This kit is by no means hard, but it's also tedious to make sure it's done right and get your measurements correctly and everything's square. All right, we have all of the mounts on. We got the shackles on. Not a big deal. Nothing is mounted up tight. Nothing's bolted down securely. This is all for mock-up because it's all going to come back apart to either get powder coated or painted the custom colors he's wanting. Did the Dynatrack. It's like a low pro shackle reverse kit. I say shackle, I mean spring mounting reverse kit. So there you are. Got all the mounts for the Rocky Road Outfitters taken care of. All of those are bolted in. Just got to take it off the jack stands and see how it is gonna set, and then we will work on pulling apart the front. The one thing that I did notice that this driveline angle is gonna have to change, and we will have to do shims in the axles or underneath the springs to make sure we have the correct driveline angles, but we won't mess with that till we get the engine, which is going to be in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to start on the front now. All right, we got the frame turned around just because I like working with, if I have to grind anything, all of that dust is kind of close to the door, so I can just throw it out of there. So now it's time to pull this front off. We're gonna cut these brackets just like we did the rear. It's a different style of hanger. Cut those. We are gonna grind shock mounts off and get them ready for an aftermarket one. And obviously shackles have to come off. All of that. And we should be good to go. This is, the front kit's a little bit different here. So these will go on the front of the frame, obviously shackle mounts, and then once we're all done, the Dynatrack kit, and then we will put shock mounts on the tubes of the axles. We'll get those welded on and should be good to go. So yeah, so here goes nothing, taking this apart and cutting on a perfectly good frame. All right, we have the shock mounts removed from the frame. We got the new brackets installed. They are not on completely yet. They mount up to the old shackle hanger with one bolt here. Then you have to drill a couple bolts, bolt everything back, and then there's a bolt on the back side of this. The other one's here too. So you can see how it mounts up tight up against there, puts everything in line, going off that bolt hole. You can see here. So it mounts up right there under, just right over it. So got all that, got this side shock tower gone, and we're gonna go, we're not sure yet here, probably gonna go, got two different styles here that we can go with. We have this one right here that is just a typical shock bracket here, and then we have these Ford ones. The Ford ones actually, they go this way. They give it, drill 2 holes, bolt it up, and able to run like a, I guess the whole point is to run a longer, more travel shock. So he's not sure what he wants to do. We're going to see how it looks aesthetically and go from there. But moving along, and should be able to get all this suspension done very soon. All right, we have quite a bit done here. We got all of the CJ to YJ conversion kit on with the Dynatrack U-bolt flip kits. Everything is mocked up with a little bit of extra stuff. Rear bumper strengtheners. We're gonna weld in some fish plates whenever we're ready. We have the front done there. Front done, all of it. Overall, it added about 2.5 inches by the time we put the new lift springs and everything on there. So yeah, the next step for this thing is we're gonna get these rock sliders fitted up. These are ones he had made up, but they interfered with a body mount that is right, used to be right there where that shiny spot is. Knocked that off, and it wasn't a body mount, I'm sorry, it was a oh man, some sort of clutch mount, but since we're going hydraulic Chevy clutch, it's no big deal. I had to cut off the original brackets for that. I'm gonna weld new ones on, and then today I'm gonna be working on getting the rear, actually I said rear, getting the fuel tank set up. Since we're going with a electronic fuel pump, you know, small block Chevy, all of that, so we're gonna get that going. So yeah, we'll go from there.